Okay, so just talking a little bit about our philosophy and everything that we believe in what we do. First and foremost, we want to make sure our best players are the ones who are building everything around. To kind of put it in perspective, we're in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. In conference history, we have the all-time leading passer, the all-time leading rusher, all-time leading receiver, and all-time leading receiving tight end. So our offense has varied in terms of run pass and what exactly we do for some different things to try to feature these guys more and more, just playing to our strengths, which goes hand in hand with minimizing our weaknesses. That being said, the one thing that we will always do is run the ball. And as we start game planning,
There are under his.
make sure that we can capitalize everything from that standpoint and build off of that. Going hand in hand with that, we want to make sure we're making the defense defend the entire field. That means laterally as well as vertically, being able to push the ball downfield with some shots, some RPO stuff. If we're getting a 9-man box, 10-man box, flipping it out there with a bunch of space. And then from a quarterback standpoint, I wholeheartedly believe in progression reads. I think there's so much gray area when you do stuff man side, zone side, 1 high, 2 high. Okay, what about safety rotation? What about blitz? What about different things like that? So everything we do is a true progression. Now, understanding coverage can allow us to speed through or cheat our progression to get us in the best situation possible. But we're always going to have the same starting point no matter what on any situation, and then have a few alerts built in if we get cover 0 or a certain type of look that we want to take advantage of. Along the same lines, as an entire team, as an entire offense, we believe in same as teaching. So, we run a lot of guard pull type stuff. Well, the way the guard pulls on counter is the exact same as he pulls on some of our GISO schemes and some of the things that way, which allows us to bank more reps. Or from a quarterback perspective, we kind of have 2 main read types. We have progression reads, book reads is what we call them, left to right or right to left, and then convertible reads, which is more top down. And the more you can teach same as, it allows your players to bank reps. So you can become more diverse or do things that are slightly different when the kids are able to understand it. Oh, it's similar to such and such play, and then they can bank every rep they've had from that standpoint going that way. And then I think this is important really from a more coaching and game calling play calling perspective, is play to win, not playing not to lose. And a different way of saying be aggressive or don't be scared. And however you want to phrase it, that's who we're going to be. We're going to make teams defend us. We're going to attack them and dictate what the defense does every time we're on the field. We try to keep things simple from a goal perspective. We really have 5 goals going into the game. Win is a does statement, and we feel if we do these things in any given game, we'll have a great chance of winning it. So game by game, we want 0 turnovers. In 15 games this season, we had 10 turnovers. Now, what really chaps my ass is 4 of them were on special teams. So 6 turnovers on the offensive side of the ball is pretty damn good for that long of a season. 60% first down efficiency really is just a metric that goes hand in hand with us being able to run the ball well, which just means 4+ yards on first down. For the season, we were 58%. We had especially towards the end of the season, we had several games where we're closer to that 80% metric. And that's where, you're staying manageable in all those situations, allows you to take your second and short shot plays. And even if it's third and short, you feel pretty good about getting them in those situations. 50% first down efficiency on the year. We were 48.1%. All of our statistics are pretty dramatically skewed, including the Iowa game. We kind of ran into a buzzsaw there. And if you take out the Iowa game, our first down efficiency goes up to 61%, and our third down efficiency goes up to 52%. So again, we feel pretty good, which just means we had a pretty good season that way. And then our red zone efficiency, scoring when you're close to the end zone. And we want, of the 100% red zone efficiency, 80% to be touchdowns. So on the year, we were about 97% of touchdowns in the red zone, and 76% of red zone trips were touchdowns. And for me, the explosive play, 1 explosive every 7 plays, is just a reminder to continue being aggressive. when you do the math here, that's exactly where we averaged for the season that way. But is a reminder, okay, even though we're running the crap out of the ball, keep doing that, but let's take a shot downfield and not just staying efficient, but continuing to be explosive and stressing the defense vertically as well as laterally. So we're going to talk about some of our play action stuff and marrying it with different run schemes we do, and then talk about counter specifically in some of the RPOs we do. But really just wanted to talk about some of the convertible reads that we have. And every play action pass that we have today is going to be one of our convertible reads. So all this is a 3-level read, a levels type read. I call it a convertible read because we read it top down, resonates with the guys, they understand it, so it's made sense that way. And we can run this out of a million different ways, a million different formations, a million different sets. But the premise is we're going to have a deep post. A coaching point for that, quite simply, inside release, aiming points 45 yards on the near hash. If we ever outside release a post, it turns into a go in that situation. We'll always have some type of fast route, which is essentially a deep over route. Aiming point is 18 and 22 yards on the opposite hash. If we get man coverage as we work across, we'll stair step that and push vertical in that situation there. And then however it is, we'll get some type of flat stretch in the flat, whether it's the running back, tight end, whoever it is in whatever situation. Then we can do the same exact read, just out of 2 extended to the field. Now, coaching point, whenever we run pull fast, the inside post is trying to get covered up. He's crossing the face of the near high safety. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because he's quite frankly trying to get covered up, and because everything about this play is flooding the field, I tell the quarterback that the inside post is dead, really, unless it's a cover 0 type look. So the coaching or the read for the quarterback is the exact same, top down convertible read, and allows us to have some multiplicity in terms of how we do things formationally, personnel wise, and stress the defense from that perspective there. So wanted to show you guys just kind of as we go through a game plan, what you'll see is off of every run play, we have a built-in shot. And not every run play, off of most of our run plays, we have a built-in shot, trying to marry things that are tough on the defense. So here we're just running a duo type concept. We're doing an inside zone type concept with an RPO to the field. Going back to what I was saying about making the defense defend the entire field, they're playing us really with a 9-man fit, a cover 3 safety, and a deep third corner over here. They're vacating this whole area of the field, fitting run hard. Okay, let's flip the ball out there with a bunch of space, make them tackle our guy 1-on-1, get an easy completion that way for a big time explosive play. If not, if the quarterback doesn't like that, it's just a hard run action here. Right? And then me up in the box, seeing how they align to this formationally, everything from that standpoint, I liked our convertible reads. It was a clear 1 high look, which would have been a good look for the fast. Really a 9-man run fit was what they were trying to do from the box, where we feel pretty good about being able to run some of our fast stuff or convertible reads. So here we were running X fast. And again, just different formationally. We're using the same exact motion that we did on the last play. We're going to have a deep post here. We're going to have a fast route, and we're going to end up with the running back in the flat in this situation. Now, coaching point for the quarterback is we love post against 2 high structures, hate post against 1 high safeties. 1 high safeties rule is deeper than the deepest. We should never be able to throw a post. We'll always peak it, but we need to make sure that that allows us to get back to our fast a little bit faster, our fast route faster. So here we got a 2 high safety structure. With how wide the safety is, we should be anticipating some type of corner blitz. We're going to read the post side safety, and the quarterback, you can see here, peaks the backside safety. All he's trying to do is make sure they're not rotating to some type of cover 3 or cover 1 high type look where we're going to be dead in that situation. The receiver, using motion to help us out, stays inside out, is able to lean on the blind spot there and keep it fairly vertical. Now, I wish he would have attacked his leverage for 2 more steps, which would have allowed him to stay skinnier through this thing, giving the quarterback more room to flatten him off. The receiver on our fast route coming in the flat here views this as a soft man coverage look. So as he's working across the field, he's going to push vertical for 3 steps and then flatten it off. All he's trying to do is keep the safety's hips open this direction so he can go this direction, work against him from a biomechanics standpoint. And then we're just getting the back and the flat. Same thing for the quarterback here. Post side safety's down, peeking the backside safety. He's not there. Flatten him off with the post. Easy read. 1, 2, 3. Big time explosive play for us that way. And what I like about all our convertible reads is we can do it a million different ways off of a million different sets. And it gives us a lot of position and formation flexibility with how we want to call things, but makes it really easy for the quarterback where all of it's same as. So here we're in a 2-back set, motion the tight end across the field. These guys, their Sam and their 2 safeties were all on a string, kind of thought of as interchangeable pieces. So you can see they're just getting back to a 2-high structure, and instead of motioning or bumping, they're just rolling the safety down to account for that. For me and what I see a 9-man run fit and them trying to play one-on-one on the perimeter. We feel that's advantage jackrabbits, however it is, and a great time to run one of our convertible reads. So here we're just running kind of a mid-zone concept, tight ends arcing for the alley defender, kind of busting it with what tackle's doing coming off of a defender there. But how our convertible reads fits is you can really fit it in off of whatever different run concept or whatever different play action pass. So here, we were trying to stay man on against a shade and pull the tackle around for the ID backer, number 22, arcing for the alley defender, number 26 should be the free player. Tackle kind of bust, comes off on number 92 there. And, you should see the space that we should have back on number 26 with space there. So again, they're downhill, they're defending run. We want to make sure they defend the whole field. Same formation, same motion. Now we're running this as we call this Titan, okay, which is very similar to pull fast. Inside post, outside post. Now we're just having the running back run a corner route from the backfield, getting to the same exact landmark, same exact spot as a fast route coming across the field. Nothing changes for us from that standpoint there, and then back in the flat. Again, same as teaching for the quarterback, very different formationally, very different look for the defense. Our inside post is trying to occupy really going to 1 high safety there, crosses his face just like that. Okay, now same thing here with our receiver. I wish he would have stepped this vertical for 2 more steps, and then it would have allowed us to stay even more vertical as we break out of that. He does a pretty good job of trying to stay as vertical as possible before he flattens off his route here and allows us to out-throw him that way. Okay, and really, even against going to a 1 high type look here, because we run it as a double post concept, we're able to occupy that safety long enough. We're able to run right behind him, get a big time explosive play that way. And same progression for the quarterback. If we don't like our posts, there's our fast route or intermediate route, or in this place, corner, or in this situation, corner from the running back and guy in the flat. They're able to do a pretty decent job here because their Mike backer pushes and takes away the flat defender. But again, marrying this together is just, a 9-man run fit, very aggressive downhill action, even on a lateral mesh, where we wanted to be able to stretch them vertically and take a shot downfield in that situation there. So now very same premise here. So in this formation here, we call it off. 2 tight ends off the ball. It could be a 3-back set, whatever it is. We were kind of getting a 6-man front here, and the safeties for the most part were both in the run fit. Now, because of the blitz that's going to happen here, you'll see they're just going to cover 1, but same premise. As I'm looking at this structure, I'm seeing a very heavy loaded box, safeties coming downhill, hard to fit run, linebackers not even thinking about anything besides getting their ass downhill right away. Okay, we're running an inside zone swipe type concept here, just a gapped out run and have a decent hit there. Running back needs to pick his feet up a little bit, but I see even the 1 high safety coming to make a tackle at 7 yards. Okay, we feel pretty good about being able to take some type of shot off of that. Again, our convertible read stuff is really good against any read in any situation that way with things. So getting back to that, same action, same play. We're running a different convertible read. There's our post from the boundary. And now we're running it as what we call a sail route from the tight end position, backs in the flat. Well, poor drawing. Backs in the flat here. You guys get the picture. 1, 2, 3, top down convertible read. Again, all these for the quarterback are same as. Nothing's changed for him. Every look that we've seen from a defensive standpoint has been very different. Quarterback sees the safety coming downhill. Again, another 9-man run fit type look. As long as that safety pauses his feet, we peek the backside safety. He's not rolling to the middle. We like our chance for a post. Okay, now they kind of tackle our guy in that situation, but schematically, you can see we got what we were trying to accomplish there. If they were going to any type of one high look, if that safety was getting a bunch of depth, whatever it was in that situation, we're just throwing off of the flat defender. 1, 2, 3, top down, convertible read. Now, what you'll see is as we're going through this, and we're talking about marrying this up with our play action game or our run game in these situations, a lot of these are obviously play action pass. We still run a lot of these schemes in our drop back pass game as well. You know, some third down stuff where we can do a 7-man protection, make sure we're sound from that standpoint and everything's good. So here we are running a full zone concept. It's just a wide zone to the right here. Okay, so everybody's blocking out to the right essentially. And same thing. What I'm seeing from the box here is we got a 9-man run fit, and the deepest player on the field is at 7 yards deep. Okay, we feel pretty good about being able to do something to take the ball, push the ball downfield. And even if we were able to get this safety to be a yard or two deeper, it would have allowed us to truly push crack with the receiver in MDM. Because he's so shallow, we got to go so flat right now that the corner's able to fall in and we don't have any space to make a miss. Why that's an important distinction for us is when you go to the tight here, you know, you'll see kind of how we're blocking it up. Everybody's accounted for in the box here. And with us MDM and that safety, everybody's blocked except for that corner. Even if we have 2 or 3 more yards of space, we're able to stick our foot in the ground and get some type of positive yards off of it. Because, you know, he's so downhill, so flat, we don't have anything to work with, anything to operate, leads to a 1-yard gain, obviously NG in that situation. So all we were doing here was we call this play badger. And essentially what it is 15-yard outs or comebacks on the outside, depending on coverage. We'll always have one guy going vertical. And this was our All-American tight end who, you know, probably going to be a 2nd-round draft pick next year, or this year, excuse me, should be in the flat. He thought he was on the other side, so we'll see him bust in that situation, but we should be in the flat there as well. So for the quarterback, if we get a great look to alert our inside post, we're going to take it. Otherwise, we're picking a side and high-lowing the flat defender for our badger in that situation. Quarterback sees this as going to a 1 high look with rotation. Again, we don't like posts against 1 high looks. So we're off of our inside post right away. Okay, now we might have had a shot there. The tight end run the wrong route or correct route and all that type of stuff. From that standpoint there, all we're doing is picking a side that we're high low. Okay. He worked our left side here, kind of the boundary in this situation. Flat defender doesn't sink all the way underneath it. Good extension by the quarterback. Big time explosive play for us, taking advantage again of a 9-man run fit. To the field, you can see even an easier look, easier completion, taking advantage of that. If they were to buzz underneath the flat defender, there would be our drop off in that situation. Same as for the quarterback, top down convertible read. This one I really like because it's slightly different for the defense, because we're running deep outs or deep comebacks instead of posts and over routes or fast routes. It really stresses the corners. You'll see these guys a lot of time really inside stem to try to stay on top of the post. Okay, now we're beating them butt side, easy money, easy completion. Okay, same exact action for the running back and quarterback here in this situation. Good extension by the quarterback, big time play. All right. Now, this is kind of the opposite premise. So we really liked a lot of our wide zone stuff against these guys. 4-4 cover 3. If we were running a wide zone to the left in this situation, this guy would be the only unblocked player. What kills our wide zone stuff is when he fast flows in those situations, and he's able to get involved with the play. We knew that, so we were running a naked type concept from the jump here. So how we run our naked stuff, we're always going to have some type of cut action or flat stretch right away. If the flat's voided, that's where the quarterback's going with the ball. We're always going to block the backside tight end or block down with the backside tight end, seal the backside C gap just to get the play started. Then we'll have a comeback and an over route coming across. If the flat's voided, we're taking it right away. Otherwise, the quarterback's reading it, comeback, over route, back down to our flat, and always stand on the move for quarterback run. So bringing a blitz in this situation, the flat's voided. They don't do a great job taking that away. We're going to drop it off, have an easy, make them tackle our guys in space. Again, getting back philosophically to defending the entire field. We do a good job breaking a couple tackles, big time explosive play. If the defensive end here or the drop down safety, whoever it was, were to take away the flat throw, quarterback would attack downhill. There's our comeback to our over route. Really good complement to a lot of our wide zone stuff that we do. Okay. The tight end will never block back on a guy. He'll always stay down and try to overtake a different guy rocking out or whatever it is. So if the defensive end ever rocks out across the tight end's face, different than playing through the C gap, we're just going to let him go. And then the quarterback essentially becomes responsible for beating that defender with the throw. Okay. We do a lot of, again, just marrying this stuff together. You'll see the same exact run action later on. Their defensive end, their flat defender has no idea even where the ball is. We're able to out leverage him. He's not even an issue with things. Drop it off to our guy with a bunch of space, make him make a tackle. Easy money. Now, what you'll see here is we're running one of our wide zone concepts to the right. So how we're going to block it up here is everybody should be accounted for in this situation, except for him and the high safety. So again, marrying this stuff together, we just attack the field flat with our tight end cutting to the flat, okay, on our naked concept. Now you can see how conscientious he is of that, slow playing everything there. That allows us to get vertical inside of it, everybody blocked up, except for that high safety in that situation there. This was not an RPO. I don't know what our receiver's doing here. He's, I don't know. So this is another one of our center pull type situations. And you'll see when we do some of the counter stuff later on, very similar thought process for how we're doing this with the center pull here. This is kind of a hybrid to some of our zone scheme run stuff. We technically classify it as a zone scheme, but becomes very man-ish. So in this situation, we're going to block out on the 5. The tight end's trying at all costs to really avoid the C gap defender, work up for the D gap defender, block down on the 2-eye, pull around for the ID backer. Depending on game plan, will be how we block the -1 linebacker here in this situation. We were zoning it up here on the backside cutoff for the tight end. Again, he's the only unblocked player there. I really like these center pull situations. I think it defines the read a lot more for the running back, and it makes it a really tough fit for the linebacker at times because there's so much space where he really can't be right in these situations. We'll never do that if it's a 3 technique. If we were running it to this way, for example, we would have just full zoned it. Or you can see what we're doing here is the quarterback's checking the play, getting it to our running it to the shade.
I guess center trap. So that there you go.
Okay. Now again, this is really our only play action thing, or only play action pass that wasn't a true progression read or vertical read. But I wanted to just show you guys marrying it off of what we're doing. So this is a quarterback gangster is what we call this play. It's G ISO here. So essentially we're blocking there. The front side guard is going to kick out the D gap defender. The backer or the back is going to be responsible for really the ID backer in that situation. Quarterback is staying tight to his inside hip pocket. He really becomes like the puller on power, or the guard on counter, or the second puller, whoever it is in those situations. Okay, so what I just want to point out here as we watch from the wide before we get to the tight, again, we got another 9-man run fit. Right? I understand this is 3rd and short, but they're not respecting anything at all. They're daring us to try to take advantage of something in the pass game. Okay, you can see we're close to getting everybody hatted up using our numbers advantage with the quarterback run game. They do a decent job of popping with the puller here. So again, how we're blocking this up here, okay, is we're going to be down blocking on the 3 technique. These 2 guys are going to be working vertical here. How it'll work out against man coverage with really 2 guys potentially in the C gap is we're just going to block there, pulling to kick out the first guy outside the tight end there. And then we should be tracking across for 26 here in this situation. Everybody should be hatted up here. Now, if I were to do this differently, the 2 things I would have done, the biggest thing I would have done was put the back on the play side. At times when we do this with an extra tight end here, it just becomes such a tough angle for the back to get all the way around and stay tight here. And you can see if we were to stay tight, the hole that we're trying to hit, fitting it together, this angle, he's kind of able to blow this whole thing up and take up 2 gaps, where if we had that back on the front side, it would be more well-defined. Quarterback could hit it there or there for a chance for an explosive play. They do a decent job with their 3 technique again, of popping the down block with the pulling guard, make a tackle for a 2-yard gain, which on 3rd and 1 is a pretty good play. So what we called is our play action pass complement here, and this was in the national championship game, was we're going to be showing the exact same action. We're here, we're showing like we're tracking to the near backer, and we're just going to banana out of it. Okay. We had designed this really for a 2 high quarters defense, where really we were responsible for reading the boundary safety. With what we're getting here is really becoming a cover 0 blitz. He's blitzing here, he's blitzing the C gap. He's responsible for this guy, he's responsible for that guy, man on, man on. So really even better, as long as we can fool the 1-man player into fitting run, we feel pretty good about what we got. Okay. Why we called this, why we like this, again, goes back to the 9-man run fit we saw in the last play. Everything about this play action pass is the exact same principle-wise, pulling for to kick out the first thing off the tight end's butt. There's the back tracking across, and we're able to influence the 1 player we need to downhill. Quarterback flips it over top. Big time explosive play. Help us win the game there. And, one of the things that we're going to continue dabbling with that's been really good to us is quarterback RPO. But I think there's a lot of merit, like this one is here, is just like normal hard play action fake to the running back, throwing a play action pass, hard play action fake with the quarterback, 1-man route, 1-man premise there. So if we were running this as our true gangster play, what would be different is we would block the D-gap defender. The D-gap defender. We would pull for everything outside of that. Because we were trying to get him freely through, we were trying to track him back for this linebacker here. And again, have him take kind of a banana route, banana path underneath that in that situation there. Okay. So counter is one of our top runs. We can run it to a tight end surface, but we really prefer it to an open side. And again, there's a lot of same as teaching here with the play we just watched, some of the gangster stuff, some of our power stuff, all of our gap scheme stuff. So rules wise, principle wise is pretty simple here. First backer in the box is the ID backer. He should be the guy that the second puller always ends up on. All right. We're going to double team to the -1 backer. Depending on the front, it will be whether it's an ace, deuce, or tray. In this situation, we're deucing between the guard and tackle to the -1 backer. The guard is going to speed pull, kick out the first thing outside the tight end. End man on the line of scrimmage. And then the tight end, really the second puller in this situation, is going to read that guard's pull, whether he spills it or logs it in terms of where he fits in that situation. Back reads off him. We do a lot of RPO off this as well, but there's a lot of same as teaching for us with some of our other gap scheme stuff. Okay, so getting to the tight here, we got a pretty clean look in terms of how hard they're leveraged to the field. It's pretty ridiculous here in this situation. So we really should be deucing all the way back here to 27, blocking back on the shade, pulling around to kick out. First guy outside the tight end. I'm sorry, end man line of scrimmage. And our second puller should end up on 17 here. We run a lot of duo to this surface, so to really leverage that in that formation here in that situation. Because of how wide this guy is, really more of a 4-eye. It's going to go to an open gap ace on the run. Checking the backer there. We got him pinned inside. Guard does a great job speed pulling head inside, near foot, near shoulder, kicking him out. Tight end jab steps, reads the guard's kick out block. We're able to fit inside that. Now he should be a little bit tighter here, trying to get his hat inside. Okay. They do a good job fitting with the backer. Safety, he's the only unblocked player. Back does a good job getting vertical off of it there. Okay. Our adjustment to this play. So we really struggled a couple of years ago blocking back on a 3 technique. And, just vertical penetration, being able to make a play, or some type of twist on the backside, being able to make a play. So now if we have a 3 on the backside of the play, rather than pulling the backside guard, we're just going to pull the center instead. Now his pull on this situation, this kick out block, is going to be really the exact same as the guard was. Speed pull through that thing, trying to kick him out. If the DN wrong arms it, it should spill and we should be able to get around it. ID wise, count wise, nothing changes. Okay, all that we're doing here is the guard and center are swapping responsibilities from what they were doing earlier, because the front is a little bit different. So again, going to the tight here, we're running counter this direction. Okay, so we got a backside 3 technique. Again, that's a long ways for the guard to go. He's got to be so flat. And so naturally, we're going to get some type of vertical penetration. That I think that's really tough, and that can screw the play. So we're just going to, basically double seal and peel here with how we're blocking it with these guys. Down block, turning it into a deuce in that situation. There's our center pulling a kick out number 41. We should be going for number 35 here. Receiver should be MDM trying to block number 5. Okay. All we were trying to do is get him a little bit of depth to help him out with the pull. Again, you can see the center able to kick him out there. Now, what I really like about the center pull is it happens so quick. You get these kicked out almost all the time. What's tough on the center with that is because it happens so quick, you really need to run through contact, try to keep this gap as wide as possible to make it easier for the tight end here. You can see the tight end navigates through that. We had a yard more space. He doesn't have to hop over. He's able to accelerate through contact there, and we're able to really crease this for a big one. Okay. Still ends up being a good hit, still ends up being a decent run, but you can see our center pull adjustment in that situation. Okay. Now, our favorite way of really running any of this counter type stuff is running it back to the open side, really when there's a 2 receiver surface, and we run our RPO Dallas is what we call it. So very simply, the number 2 receiver is running a 5-step slant. He has to win. We want him to be as vertical as possible to win underneath the safety. So if that safety is super heavy inside leverage, naturally we're going to be flatter with it. If the safety was playing like cover 2 or whatever it was in that situation out there, we'll keep it very vertical. Rules for the number 1 receiver, he's running a hitch dig. So he should be running a 6-yard hitch. If he feels any type of pressure from the corner, meaning press man coverage, meaning cover 2, meaning catch man, he's going to bring it in. Okay. If it's kind of a softer zone type look, he'll kind of tempo it as he brings it in. If it's a man coverage look, he's got to win full speed underneath that guy and beat him with speed. Quarterback is really reading the apex defender, really reading the Sam backer for polar give in that situation. Okay. So here we are running this against Montana State. And again, all this is counter to the right. Okay, so this is going to be our ID backer. This is going to be our -1 defender that we're comboing back to here. And then this would really be the guy that the quarterback's reading. Now, depending on game plan and depending on the leverage here, we can teach the quarterback to throw it against a 2-over-2 type look. We really like the run part of things against the cover one man look, because we were trying to get the backside tight end to take the backside man defender, chance to get everybody hatted up with good angles, make the high safety the only unblocked player. So we're really kind of teaching it this week as an alert. Quarterback could have thrown this just based on it being a good throw opportunity. Now, what you'll see, and really if you watch our whole season with RPOs, I teach the quarterback, the RPO is to protect the run. We're not trying to throw it 75 times a game. Okay? We're trying to solve answers where they have a better defensive call than we have offensive call by throwing it out there where there's space and making them defend the whole field. So getting back to the tight here, okay, you can see we're again never going to block back on a 3 technique. So we're going to pull our center in this situation. There's going to be our deuce to the -1. Here's the ID backer that we should be pulling around for. And then the tight end again should be arcing really for the -2. There we are in that situation there. Okay. Again, pretty decent job here with our speed pull. You can see that they're really trying to spill it. So it allows us to get all the way around it. I prefer it when they spill it when we're pulling the center, to be honest, because it's so much space for this guy to fit. Allows us to get our head inside, allows us to get vertical off of it. Now, if I was going to redo this, the thing that we would have done is, potentially swapped responsibilities here. Backside seal peel, try to get the backside tackle through to get to the -1. You can tell that really the tight end's got no chance, and he's got bad eyes in that situation too. But we get the kickout block. The backside man player is the only unblocked player. Drag him for a 70-yard gain. Feel pretty good about that. Now, quite literally, the next play, we came back with the same exact play. We're just motioning in the backfield here to dress it up a little bit different. Now, this becomes the guy that the quarterback's reading. ID backer in the box, -1 in terms of how we're blocking everything up and what we're doing that way. Okay. And so looking at it from the wide, you can see that the sandbacker, the apex defender, is falling in the box. We're going to pull it. We're going to throw our 5-step slant right behind his ear for a big time explosive play. If we go to pull it and we don't like this throw, sandbacker like retraces to get in that window, or in this situation, maybe the Mike backer getting a lot of depth, then we're just going to throw our hitch dig out here with a lot of space, make them tackle our guy with a bunch of space. Worst case scenario, that should be a 6-yard completion, which is an efficient play as well there. But get the look we want, able to push the ball downfield, 18-yard gain because they're aggressive fit in the run. Okay. Now, a negative of the sig call is basically because it ends up, being a double seal peel, double man type principle here. When we pull the center is backside twist game. Okay. So you can see here, we don't pass that off the best. We don't handle it the best here. Or they were able to get the defensive end and free there. Really, this is tough to do. Both these guys, starts with tackle, need to step down to seal and peel a little bit more. And then as that happens, the guard needs to pass that off and take number 11. Easier said than done. I understand that. 30 is the ID backer. Deucing to 47. Pulling the center there to kick him out. Second puller ending up on the Mike backer. Okay, they go to spill it. We get around it. Okay, and we're a little bit wide with this, but you can see that he's really thinking, "Oh shit, I gotta block the Sam. Sam's falling in. He's the first guy I see. I need to kick him out right away." Well, no, you really don't. Stay on track for the Mike because we're gonna throw off the Sam anyways. Leads to a big time explosive play. Okay, now here we are doing it again. This was a little bit different. This was a little bit more game plan specific where we taught him with the safety in the box here. Because of just how low he is, we're going to treat that as a throw look as long as we have a good look for our hitch dig out here, and treating it more as an alert, making them defend the entire field. Okay. So looking from the tight, the sandbacker is not falling in the box, but because we were treating it as an alert, if we have a good look out there, throwing the ball with a bunch of space, make them defend the entire field. Again, even though the Sam's playing pass, he's really cheating things. It's kind of a man type look out here with while they're playing it, 2-man-ish, bracket-ish, where it's really 1-over-1 out there once you get outside the hash. Okay. That means they got 10 guys on this side of the field. We got 10 guys on this side of the field. Let's take the one-on-one, make them tackle us with a bunch of space. Receiver does a good job playing fast, slips vertical, able to find his way in the end zone there. Again, love especially our Dallas RPO, because it makes them defend the entire field, stresses them vertically, or stresses them laterally in that situation there. Okay. So how we should be blocking this. Okay. This is the ID backer. This is the -1. He'd really be the -2. Okay. So we should be deucing here all the way back to 18, blocking back on the shade, pulling the kick out the defensive end. He should be reading that his pull for the ID backer there. All right. They really, close hard and ends up logging it. We're able to get all the way around there as a tight end. You can see where we would want the ball to hit. We need to be better here at tackle of staking back into this vertically, aiming for the backside number and wheeling with that to try to pry open that B gap if they do really want to close hard as they are here. Just like the, teaching with the offensive lineman, hammering the hip, when these defensive ends close really hard, at times we're not able to get back vertical with that way. So what's the easy button here? Well, there's a lot of guys in the box there. We got a lot of space out there, easy completion, at least 6 yards. We're able to turn it into an explosive play and get a touchdown out of it as well. Again, premise-wise, thought process-wise, progression-wise, make the defense defend the whole field that way with everything we did. So I intentionally wanted to kind of, be direct with everything, but save a few minutes for any type of questions or anything you guys had as well. So I guess just kind of open it up. Any questions, any thoughts, anything like that?
So I'm just, listening to you, the way you identify players on your, with the ID backer and
Yep.
the -2. So the ID backer is just who you're counting with either the H or like guard pulling through. Is that correct? What does that
Correct.
mean?
Okay. So, all our gap schemes are in the same family. So power and counter are the exact same count wise in terms of where they're going to. The pull target is who we count as the ID backer with any of our gap schemes. So on power, that would be who the guard is pulling for. On all of our counter stuff, that's really who the H is ending up on that way. And how we had difference for us with power and counter. Power, the kick out guys on the front side. Counter, the kick out guys coming from the backside. So that's really the only difference with that. But in terms of the counts and who the ID guy is, that's always going to be the first backer in the box that we're pulling for that way. How it changes with some of our zone stuff is, quite frankly, the ID backer is the first linebacker in the box play side. And depending on some different tags we have, we either count outside in or inside out. Generally speaking, our inside zone stuff, we count inside out. Our wide zone stuff, we count more outside in.
Okay. And then you identified like a -2 there at one point. Now, is that not blockable for you? You have to read him with an RPO or like, I don't know, naked boot or something to hold him where he's supposed to be?
Yep. So on one of them, the -2 should have been responsible for by the tight end arcing to get him. A lot of times the leverage to get the -2 sucks. So we kind of count him as the unblocked player. Like old Alabama, Steve Sarkisian, what his teaching is you can never get to the -2 backer. The only time a -2 ever shows up is if it's a one high look, cover 1 or cover 3. Cover 1 or cover 3 equals throw for their RPO with whatever it is. Now they've had however many unbelievable NFL receivers over the years where they can just rely on that guy winning the entire time. We teach it more as make that guy track through traffic and tackle us in those situations.
Thank you.
Yep.
I got a question. You have
Yeah.
a package center and you have a gap power.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
You have a package where you're under center.
Yep.
And do you run A gap power?
Our power is more of a B gap power. We have very little gotten under center the last 2 years. That's going to be something that we're going to do actually in spring ball here, is getting under center a lot more. So just actually yesterday, we worked under center footwork for the first time in 2 or 3 years that way. But we teach power more as a B gap hitting play. And really it's the rules for how we're doubling and the entry point for the guard. And part of the reason we do it that way as well is, we watch some of our G schemes, with the guard kicking out the first guy outside, with them popping with the puller. We get a lot of teams that do that to us on power as well. So the A gap is really not there. And it just ends up being a muddied mess when that happens, versus if we're able to pull out around the double team, that puller's able, or the guy popping the pulls gets kind of caught up in the wash with the double team there.
Hey, Zach, in your sequencing of play calls, and you're looking to set up a shot play off your play action or off your runs, set up one of your explosives. Do you have coaches assigned to like peek in the box? Are you peeking the box yourself as the play is going on? Like, how do you know it's like time to pull the trigger on that?
Yeah, I think so. We script our first 8 plays. In our first 8 plays, we're always going to have a shot. So some of those are just call it and run it. And again, that's why there is a progression built in. I didn't show the ones of us dropping it down for a 5-yard completion, but there's a few of those in there as well. That way, I'm responsible for reading whoever the quarterback is reading on the particular play, and that's my role in the box. Everybody on our staff is responsible for looking at something differently. Our offensive line coach is responsible for looking at the half of the line closest to us. Tight ends coach, the half of the line on the other side of it, and our running back coach is responsible for looking at the backers, how hard they're filling. Receiver coach is responsible for looking at the safeties and seeing how hard they're fitting. So usually how things happen is I'll see the quarterback's read pre-snap is showing us it would be a throw type look or something like that. Okay, that equals a shot play. Or their safety fit run really hard, and our offensive line coach says, "Oh, we can't get to that guy. He's unblocked." Okay, well, that usually means it's time for a shot play, or an RPO, or something to make them defend the whole field because they're really trying to play us, 10 guys in a box type thing, and all that. So our RPOs, we actually just went through our self scout stuff on plays that we threw our RPOs. We were 86% efficient. Most of the ones that weren't efficient, those 14%, are really incompletions. We had 1 or 2, bubble screens that we didn't block very well that way. But what I found surprising, so our base runs, just any base down and distance where we didn't call an RPO, just true call it and run it type stuff, we were 52% efficient. Our runs where we called an RPO but handed it off, we were 65% efficient. That's a pretty big discrepancy there. And why is that? Well, a combination of us throwing some of those and handing them off, we're making the defense defend the whole field laterally a lot of times in those situations, which creates more gaps and better running lanes for us to run through.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else?
Wait a minute. This stuff's getting recorded, so do you mind if I share your email?
Yeah, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
After somebody checks it out online and something else comes up. Anyway, Zach's pretty accessible. He just wants to just get us better up here, and so if you need a contact down there too, you got a kid to look at. They're getting pretty good, so he might be picky. But no, hey guys, Zach's legit dude, and he's as quality a person besides a coach. So I can't stress that enough, and that's hard to find sometimes. So thanks for doing this again, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. And no, I guess just kind of echoing that and building off of that. Any questions you guys have, I'd love to help out and be a part of continuing to develop football up there. And
even more importantly, any guys you want me to look at or evaluate, please pass along. And even if they're not a guy for us, I'll give you some honest feedback and try to help them out, because I know as well as anybody how difficult it can be making it out from Alaska there, and take a lot of pride in that as well. So again, thank you guys for taking the time, and I look forward to talking to you guys more down the road.